All right, so I did research on this. Example of the reasons that ghost Mormon gives for all this hack problems at Hanford. So I imagine that around this time, they'll claim that a non-worker made fun of dumb Mormon club. And that's right. Around that time, a non-worker did make fun of dumb fucking Mormon club. And still fucking does. Or a non-worker plugged in his phone into his own computer. And that's right, Mormons. A non-worker did. Or a non-worker made up a novel, like these online group novel kinds of. A non-worker made up the preliminaries for a novel for Skank to write in the dark web with her friends, based on that being a bypass to sucking dicks and shit. And that's right, Mormon. A non-worker did. And then, oh, that's right. Then Mormon Temple claims to be the National Security Agency. And hey, Mormon, you know what Sector 8 is? A Russian contract for Russian intelligence. And that's not National Security Agency at all. You see how I have these blocks here? These are blocks that represent how stupid and fucking dumb your guys' excuses are. See this word non-worker? See that? So think about what you guys say, because the word non-worker is an important aspect there. See, that's where you guys are thinking backwards. Kind of like when the Gray didn't plug in his phone out there, and then you guys bitch moved and thought that nobody would be able to figure out who did all the hacking. So then, let me tell you what this block is. This block is Mormon Club does espionage at corporations. Mormon Club is dumb as fuck, okay? Mormon Club is a group of huge fucking psychos. And Mormon Club does Russian intelligence contracts. And then, you know what the explanation from negative ghost Mormon, but you know what the explanation from somebody completely diametric to all of you is? That Mormon Club hacks corporations in this exact way. The way that I explained in the previous video. So, with your guys' 2Jew creepy back, insinuations of bad grammar, and insinuations of on the ropes, just remember that Ghost Mormon doesn't show Ghost Mormon's face, accesses the speaker systems out there, and then has explanations. That's what Ghost Mormon does, and that is what Russian intelligence does. And so the next step that Mormon will take is that they'll start to blame other people, like non-workers. Now, I imagine that they'll be finding somebody that used to be a worker, and then they'll be blaming that person as if that person would have some special hack. See, Mormon, the phones that you hack of the workers out there get plugged into the computers out there. So the non-government computer that the non-worker plugged his hacked phone into has nothing to do with the computers out there. And so one of the things that Ghost Mormon thinks, they think that whacking off and killing children and shit and getting into a Russian intelligence contract, they view that as zero-time pedo munch. Then Ghost Mormon views themselves as the smartest people ever created in computer science. Okay? And this is like Mormon Club does Russian intelligence contracts of espionage, and essentially they attempt to blackmail a whole corporation. And then they use hostile corporate takeover methods. And so, any advisement from Ghost Mormon, this is the importance of not using the speakers. See, in my research, I knew people were confused about the speakers. Okay, they didn't understand. There's a veneer of that stuff being clandestine, CIA-ish in ways, and then they don't ever tell you. They just access the speaker without your permission, like a bunch of rapists. Like a bunch of rapists in a satanic S&M. And let me tell you what satanic S&M dark web systems are. Those essentially run as an S&M, but they blackmail horribly as slaves. And then anytime that Russian intelligence needs to do some sort of clandestine kind of mission, then they basically just force a group of blackmailed slaves to be figuring it out. And eventually they do. That is what Ghost Mormon is. And so, more than likely, Ghost Mormon might even be dumb enough that this is where, in this town, there's a whole concerted effort on getting Ghost Mormon to be so fucking dumb that they would take their pop-up or whatever. They do. They do their pop-up right on their screen. Why would they be breaching into that system? Russian intelligence contract of espionage that's attempting to strong-arm the corporations out there, and then it'll be related to what Putin's doing at Chernobyl and shit. My guess is there's probably something wrong, and that there's probably things at Hanford in the form of remediation that are within their either proprietary or probably held within the need to know queue system, and that is where their hacking contract will probably be focused at pulling out what would be considered Q or L level remediation information. How to, what to do, what, you know, what the NRC would expect, stuff like that. There's going to be stuff in there that are proprietary to whoever has the contract. And essentially, Mormon will be attempting to get that information to be building a counterfeit corporation, probably to be doing remediation for Putin. And that'll probably be the main reasoning, because I found these Mormons that work out of Hanford, that were literally trying to build a boilerplating of whatever they were doing at their job out there in like a broad-based way. What they were doing in a construction way for remediation and shit. To be building their own corporation that you had to be Mormon to be a part of. It was like built in kind of a startup way. And then all these people that worked out there were busy out there at work doing corporate espionage and essentially compiling data to be building a counterfeit copy corporation. See, that's the kind of shit that they seem to. This is what it is. They like to act innocent and dumb. This is what they do. There's nothing innocent about what they did. I just explained it very simply. There's nothing innocent about anything that they did, but that there's live in some sort of weird, dumb fucking Satan way. They're like dumb Satanists. This is what it is. That's what it means to be dumb. They're just dumb Satanists where they think that they can just act all innocent. Oops, I hacked in to the computer, the scientist. That. That is what their theoretical kind of response will be. And then they think that somebody mocking them or something. Then they'll start circling around. Then this video, they'll start blaming me. They will. They'll start blaming me. They'll start blaming me. Based on me making a mockery and giving people an understanding of what they like tell people after they do this stuff. How they act. What their psychology is. And so I'm not afraid, you know. These dumb Mormons think that they can just psych up anybody into any belief system. And that has a lot to do with dumb Hanford. Dumb Hanford getting psychopped into stupid fucking ideas that now they don't get to think. This is the truth. See, the level of fucking stupidness that you all put into all this shit. Now none of those people get to make any fucking decision whatsoever. There's other people that get to make decisions now about this stuff. And you see that I blatantly am telling people what the real truth about all of that shit is. And that all this stuff about church system is that here's a real reality. You can pretty much get most people out at Hanford once you get their hack or something on their computer to go into a church and to be Republican. And then they're all in like QAnon and shit. And that QAnon is a preliminary ripoff of the Q system for them to be accessing in these kind of theoretical espionage ways. That's what I've been talking about. And then Mormon sits around hacking all my shit because I keep narking them off about all the stuff that they do. Kind of makes them seem guilty, doesn't it? And you see that I use an iPad most of the time, and that then Mormon says something dumb and stupid. And then I basically write up my own notes and stuff and post videos blatantly. And then Mormon says something dumb and stupid. And that is pretty much, if you don't know who's telling you guys advice in the speakers, it'll be related to Mormon's little hacking infrastructure here in Tri-Cities that gets pushed out of their Mormon temple. And so this is where they also did the same thing at all of the police officers' computers around here. And then they run Mormon version of Cop Gang.